Hey everybody, my name is Chris, and we're coming to you live from the Southern California Canvas Users Conference. And today we're here having an open lab, kind of a design your own course co-op. And we're here with a bunch of people, and we're at Santa Ana Unified School District. Say hi everybody.
Hello.
And we are super excited to have with us today, beaming in all the way from the East Coast, Stephanie. And Stephanie is a Canvas coach. She's a Canvas trainer. She's a super califragilistic, nice person. And she's always in the community, like, so willing to help people with really difficult questions. And a lot of times the questions don't really have a right answer. And she's really good at exploring all the options with people. So Stephanie, I'm thrilled that you're here with us. And Stephanie is basically going to share with us some resources available in the community. And I should also mention that this is a sneak peek of what Canvas Live is going to be like when it relaunches in, what's the time, I think 15 or so days. So if you keep an eye on Canvas Live, you'll see more events like this. And the idea is really for, let's say, David is like, I really want to work on this in my course. You could post like, hey, let's have a meetup. Everybody who's interested in, the last session was like integrating Google Drive in your course. Let's get together and put our heads together, because we really are better together. And educators sharpen educators, teachers sharpen teachers. So that's the concept with the relaunch of Canvas Live. And I'll turn it over to you, Stephanie. And we want to make this interactive, so Stephanie can hear us. You can hear Stephanie, and feel free to ask questions. And here we go.
Okay. Hey, Chris. Hey, everybody. And thanks so much for inviting me to your little group of the Southern California Canvas Users Conference. I mean, your small group, I know it's an enormous group over there in the other room, and I am absolutely thrilled to have the chance to talk to you today, to talk to you not only about my favorite thing, which is the Canvas community, but also, as Chris said, to give you a little bit of a sneak peek and give the world a sneak peek of what our newly imagined Canvas Live is going to look like when we relaunch it a little bit later this month. And part of our goal here in the community, as Chris mentioned, is to extend the inherent spirit of generosity, that whole feeling of sharing that is basically the fabric of the community. It's really what we all count on, is the fact that we all like to share, we all like having a forum, and we all like collaborating on things so that we can all collectively make one another better. So it's in that spirit that I come before you today and want to take you on a little bit of a walk through the Canvas community. I'm going to share my screen now, and what I want to show you first is how you can ask questions during the course of this presentation. Now, as Chris said, you can, of course, feel free. I can hear you, you can hear me, but I also have up there a link to a Q&A in Google. And if you navigate to that link, you should be able to see a question interface, and you can feel free to put questions in there as I go through my thing. And then as they come up, I will answer them, or I'll answer them at the end. This is informal, so you don't have to worry about interrupting me. I can stop, I can look. Can everybody see that slide?
We see the slide, and it looks like it doesn't have any questions there now, but I think there's like a URL, a GOO dot something, another URL, a short URL that I think we need to see.
Oh, you can't see the URL?
No, I see that it's like it's a blank. It's where the questions would come into you, but we're not seeing the URL for the
Okay,
question.
well, let me read it out to you then. I'm a little surprised because it's displaying on my screen. It's goo.gl/slides/ S as in Sam, JJ as in James, Y as in use guys, E as in epsilon, and G as in George. So SJJYEG, and that's the URL for the questions. Maybe if you'd like to, you can navigate to that URL and ask me a question, and just so I can see if it's popping up on the screen.
Yeah, let's try that first.
Yeah. SJJ, and then the JJYEJ.
I need to be part of her organization.
Okay, it's asking us for permissions, but we'll go ahead and we'll ask questions, so don't worry about it.
We'll do it the old-fashioned way. You can just ask me questions and I'll answer them. That all sounds good. All right, let me then, what I'll do is I'll go back to that slide for a second so we can talk. Now,
we're still seeing, when you share your screen, we're seeing where the questions will come in. It says no questions yet. That's what we're looking at.
Oh, that's interesting. Huh. All right, that's not the slide. That is not the screen that I shared. So, I love a live setting. Anything can happen, and probably will. All right. Can you see the Canvas community now?
No, we're seeing the slides. No questions yet.
Okay, let me unshare and we'll try again.
Yeah.
All right, at this point you should see the community.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, good. That sounds good. I'll stay on this screen for a little bit. So as I said, I'd like to take you on a quick walk through the Canvas community. And really, we're only just going to scratch the surface here because we're going to be taking a very focused look. Now, a few weeks ago, I was at InstructureCon, and I don't know if any of you were there. I don't know if I met any of you. I hope I did. But when I was at InstructureCon, I was at the community lounge, and what we were doing there was we wanted people to come up to our tent to learn about the community. And one thing that really surprised me when we did that was I was finding that for every person who told me that they had created a profile and they were authenticating into the community and actually logging in and asking questions and interacting, there were easily 4 people who weren't doing that. And by and large, it does seem to me that people's first introduction to the community is coming from here, right over here. They are clicking on this help button and they're navigating to search the Canvas guides. And you know, that's great because when you do that, it brings you to this Canvas guides area and it gives you read-only access into all of the resources that are available in the Canvas guides and other resources in the community. But I'm hoping that by the time I'm done talking to you that I will have shown you the value in taking your community participation up a notch or two if you haven't already, and that you will in turn encourage your colleagues to go through the authentication process. And I'm going to show you why. The first thing that you and your colleagues are going to need to know is how to create the authentication. Now, the Canvas community has single sign-on authentication with Canvas itself. So if you were to open up any browser and sign into your school's Canvas account, then you can open up a new tab and you can navigate to community.canvaslms.com. And you can click on the login link that you're going to see at the upper right-hand corner of the screen. Now, if for someone who's never done this before, the next screen is going to ask that person to confirm a few pre-populated fields, and then you're done. At that point, you've said okay, you're authenticated, and you as a Canvas user and community member will now not only be able to read the resources in the community, but you're also going to be able to interact with them. You can post comments, you can vote on feature ideas, you can ask questions, and you can do so much more. Now, the search feature in the community is robust. You can search from here, the home page. You can search from here, this spotlight search, or you can narrow your search by choosing one of these specific areas, and you can search within that specific area, and that focuses your search results a little bit. Now, one of the powerful capabilities that people have once you've signed into the community is that you can join groups. So I'm going to click on Join Groups here from the home page. And it's easy, it's painless, and if you join a group, you're not going to be inundated by content unless for some reason you want to be inundated by content, in which case you can follow everything. Now, I belong to pretty much every group, so I actually had to unjoin a group. I had to leave a group today so I could show you how to join one. But to do one, here, let's take a look at this one. This is the Canvas developers. I'm about to join this one right here. And to do that, you just click on that group space. And then here in the upper right, there's a drop down for actions. And you click on actions, which it's still thinking, so it's taking a second. All right, there you go. And you click on Join Group right here. And when you join group, that's it. You get a confirmation that you've joined the group and you're done. At that point, if you want to leave the group, you can just click here and leave the group. If you decide for some reason it's something that you just are tired of being in, go ahead and leave the group. So once you're a member of a group, that means you can post directly to the group. You can interact with the members in that group's within that specialty that you've chosen, and you can create your own resources there if you're inclined to share. And of course, I hope that you are inclined to share. So I promised you a focused look today. So the focus that I'm going to take for this very brief presentation is going to be the Instructional Designers group. And that's one of the featured groups on the home page. So let's have a look at that. Here's the Instructional Designers group, and I'm a member of that. So I'm going to click on Instructional Designers right here. When I first joined the community, one of the resources that I put together in this group was called Creating and Inviting Course Homepage. And that's one that's also featured content on the homepage, so it's going to be easy to find, and I'm going to click on that to show you what I put together. Now, when I created that, I want to be very clear that I am by no means an expert in design. I'm not an expert in HTML. I know what I like, and I know what looks good to me, and I am willing to play around with code in order to try to make something pretty. So I took resources that other people had created in the community, and I played with them in my own Canvas courses so that I could make something that worked for me. And then I created this blog post, which is just a bare bones example of a course homepage just to get the conversation started. So this was my initial post way back, as you can see, over a year ago. And look what happened. So, I showed an example of what it looks like on a tablet. This is some of the button code that I used. I showed how to create a banner here using, for course announcements. And then I went on. I posted a few other things. I started getting questions. People started posting their own resources. People started asking how-tos. At some point in this whole process, I stopped having to answer these questions. At first, I started answering them, but then I found that all of these contributors were going in and doing all this legwork for me. They were answering the questions. They were helping people with this. And then, look, somebody started posting his own idea. This is how we design our homepage at our school, and he posted this. Then he showed how it looks on the mobile app. This was super. Then other people posted other stuff. Then, after this kind of went on for a while, and I realized that maybe it would be useful for me to show people what my actual course homepage looks like, because I had just posted a stripped down example. So what I did was I took a really big screenshot right here, and this is the actual course homepage that I was using based on that very bare bones design that I put up at the top of the blog. And as you can see, this is the syllabus page that I use as my course homepage. But you can adapt these design features to any page at all. Anything where there's a rich content editor present, you can use these particular codes and these particular design tools to make a page with buttons, a page that looks kind of pretty, a page that has all sorts of clickable things. And then it goes on and on and on. So I'm not going to scroll through all of the pages. The thing just took off. Now, when I created this resource, I'm going to scroll back up to the top so I don't get dizzy. I created this resource, and I did it the way I did it because it's something that's relatively easy for people who don't know a whole lot about HTML to use. It's essentially predicated on a table. Now, it's not too challenging to create a simple table, put images in each of the cells, and then create links to those images. But without question, it is simply not the absolute best approach for creating a course homepage. And the reason for that is because tables tend to be wonky. You know, when you go across multiple devices, they don't always behave the way you want them to. So what I did was I started studying what is my favorite resource for course homepages, which is Chris Long's Home Suite Homepages Without Tables. And I can assure you, whenever I show people my blog, I always follow it up by showing Chris's blog, because this is really, if you have the next level of HTML skills, this is the way to go about it. So you can see he explains how to go about doing it, and then he shows examples. So this is across the various browsers, devices, apps that you can do it. So you can see it on a laptop, you can see it on an iPhone, you can see it in the app. This is awesome. So if you want to take it up to the next level, this is where I would be going, and I would be trying to get somebody who's got that level of HTML skill to put together something like this for me. And again, people share their ideas, their resources. People kind of kicked the tires on it. If people had questions about how to implement it, they were able to put that in the community. Now, that's not really the only place that you can go to get ideas for course homepages. There's lots of other places in the community where you can get all sorts of examples. Now, I was focusing on K-12. So, for now, I'm just going to stay with the K-12 focus, but you can find all sorts of example courses. Let's look, for example, at Canvas Commons. So if we click here from the home page, we can click on Canvas Commons to get information about how to use Canvas Commons. And if we go back to the Canvas course that I was showing you a few minutes ago and click on Commons in the global navigation, from there we've got, now this particular instance is giving me over 8,000 resources that are shared publicly that I can look at, but all I really want to look at right now is K-12. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and here, look, I've got a Welcome to 6th Grade, an elementary template that shows me a very simple home page that would be very easy for students to navigate. If I scroll down a little bit more, I've got, it's actually called an elementary homepage template. And here you've got a really nice template that you can use, and I'm sorry, for some reason my screen is blinking a little bit, and I don't know why that is, but I hope you can see that I am sharing an elementary homepage template, showing that to you through Commons. Now, here's another resource that somebody just uploaded a couple of days ago. You can see actually yesterday where there was a reply, but she shared it on the 1st, and that is a template for onboarding modules. And this is the sort of, this is in the K-12 space. So if you're a K-12 teacher, or even if you're not, you get a whole lot of ideas by joining the K-12 group. And this is a resource that just came across my inbox the other day, just in time for me to show it to you for this presentation. People are sharing their ideas all the time. So I'm only scratching the surface here because I focused very narrowly on course homepages. Let's go back to the home page. It's the home page of the community again. Now, I just picked the Instructional Designers Group and course homepages because I know that's something that's of a great deal of interest, and people are really interested in knowing more about how to make their courses look inviting. But what I really hope that I have encouraged you to do, and what I hope is what you will encourage your colleagues to do as well, is to find your own pathway into the community. take a narrow focus. Don't try to get everything at once, but instead find a topic that interests you. Start searching for it. Join a group that shares that interest and start participating. And the power of the community ultimately rests in how we all interact with it and how we all share our knowledge of it. So ultimately, what I hope I've been able to convince you all to do today is to log in and talk to us. So thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. New design is gorgeous.
Yeah. You guys have any questions for Stephanie?
The room is thunderstruck. Look at you.
Well, I mean,
let me ask you a question then. What out of the resources that appeals to you, what do you think you're going to focus on? She asked you, like, hey, you're going to start with a focus, so just kind of go around the table if you want to share. What's your focus?
I'll start. I think I'd like to delve more. I'd like to delve into course design a little more, creating those course homepages. I kind of had a way to do it for the last couple of years, but I really like what I'm seeing as far as what teachers are putting out there in the community. So I'd like to learn how to do some of that stuff.
All right. I'd like to invite you to a discussion. If you are interested in course design in general and more about principles, if you would at some point go into the community and search for a discussion in the instructional designers group called Instructional Designers Toolkit. It might be called ID Toolkit. And what we're trying to do with that is one of the people I met at InstructureCon, Sean Neufer, said that he's interested in putting together an initiative where people collaborate on that kind of toolkit. And we were actually hoping that we could help him do that by using Canvas Live and the new tools that we're going to have available to us in Canvas Live to get interested users together in various collaborative spaces. It could be in our chat area, it could be in the discussion in the community, it could be in informal screen shares where we exchange ideas. But what I'm hoping, if you're interested in participating in that, then just put a comment at the bottom of that discussion with your name and tell us you're interested. Or if you just want to lurk, follow the discussion. Click on the top right and make sure you follow that into your inbox. I'm serious. Not everybody has to be actively participating all the time, but if you follow it, you'll be updated whenever there is an update posted to that thread, and you'll know what kind of progress is being made on that toolkit. I am really excited to see how this is going, because this is literally ground up that Sean wants to build this thing with the help of other people who are interested in the same kind of thing. And I hope that kind of answers your question, although there's no actual answer. It's just an idea.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Sure, my pleasure.
yeah, I'm noticing just that I've been locked into secondary education for my whole life, and then now I'm recently starting to help more people in elementary, and so I would be interested in looking at, again, design tools specific to elementary teaching, because I don't know how elementary teachers do it using Canvas.
I'm fascinated by it too, because I've always been in higher ed. Every 100% of my instructional background is higher ed. So what's happening is that I am now learning as a bystander, and I'm in awe. That's one of the reasons I joined the K-12 group, because there's something to me very special about elementary educators. There's something about how their spirit of cooperation and willingness to share and their enthusiasm is so far and beyond what I've ever encountered anywhere else. And that's the spirit that I'm seeing in K-12. And when that happens, what I'm finding is that I'm learning so much about even having never been a K-12 teacher. I'm still learning a lot about it. And it's very encouraging to me to be able, as you're in a situation where now you have to learn that stuff, but you haven't actually been in it in the past. That's where I am too. And I participated, maybe it was about a month ago now, I participated in a Twitter chat, a K-12 Twitter chat. I mean, what am I doing in a K-12 Twitter chat? And yet I had the best time, and I really learned a lot. And the teachers in there were giving the most exciting ideas about engaging students and ways they could do it. And that's the sort of thing that I'm finding now. I'm learning something new every day. about a realm that heretofore I really haven't been involved in. So it's been a lot of fun.
Stephanie, I'm like Brian. We both were scooped out of a long, happy career in middle school, and now we're training all sorts of different educators. And one came the other day to me asking for help with her Canvas, and I kid you not, she's teaching kindergarten, first grade, moderate to severely handicapped, so adult disabled children on iPads, rocking Canvas. The kids take their iPad and the whole course is in Canvas, and I'm like, you're my hero. And she needed help with some obtuse, esoteric file that wasn't published in some dark corner of her module. I'm thinking, this lady is just, she's using it to its fullest and using it with kindergarten. So if you need anybody like that as a model or a mentor, boy, I was just flabbergasted.
I think I was talking to the same teacher. She said she has to put it on Canvas because these students eat the paper. If she gives them paper,
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, really?
Was that Maria?
Yeah.
It's Maria Michigan.
So is she in the community?
I don't know.
I'll
Is
make
she
sure
in the
she
community?
is.
Recruit her in.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get her in.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, please get her in. That's the kind of experience we would love to know more about, and people totally relate to that. I mean, that's a great story. Students eat the paper. Yes, that's something that you want to show people. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Sure.
I'm also a TOSA, a trainer within my district, and I think one of the best ways to help spread Canvas within our district and any district is to kind of show how it's being used in the classroom with different lessons, different activities. I know we have Canvas Commons to be able to bring in assignments or discussions or quizzes, but is there groups within the community that are sharing, lesson plans? How to bring in RAS kids into a Canvas classroom, or are we doing screenshots of activities, or is there anything where they're exchanging ideas on a daily basis?
Well, yeah, there is, and there could be more. As you mentioned, there is Commons, and people are in fact using Commons to share lesson plans. I actually think I answered a question about exactly that, although in that case, I think that particular teacher was only looking for a way to share lesson plans with other teachers who taught the same subject at her school, which of course is a use of Commons. You can restrict the sharing to do just that. But yes, people are sharing their lesson plans to Commons. And another space that I mentioned a few minutes ago is K-12, where people are not just sharing their design ideas, but they're also sharing their instructional ideas. And that's the case in higher ed, too, by the way, for those of you who are more in the higher ed world. It's not limited to exclusively to Canvas. We're not locking down discussion so that people are only talking about how do I use Canvas to do this, but it's, oh, I do this, and by the way, I happen to be a Canvas user. That's how people are participating. But we could absolutely do more. I mean, I would love to see people engage in an informal panel discussion, just as an example, where people could say, this is how I design my lesson plan, and I teach this, and this is the grade level that I teach, and let's just show different ways that we do it. I mean, I think those would be great resources. They could be preserved, they can be recorded, they can, or they don't have to be. It's just a function of what the particular users at any given time feel is going to be most valuable to them at that time. But I think that we have only just begun to see how we can take advantage of all of the sharing opportunities that we have, so that we're not all sitting in our siloed spaces reinventing the wheel individually, but instead we're all just sharing what we know.
Yeah, I think that would be a great, looking forward to the relaunch of Canvas Live. That would be great, just kind of like a show and tell, a lesson that you made in Canvas. I'm a kindergarten teacher. Here's a 4th grade teacher. Here's a 6th grade, all the way on up. It would be fascinating. I think that would be great.
I would love that. I would watch that. I mean, there's no question in my mind. I think that's great stuff. And you know, again, it's not going to be the kind of thing where you get an expert, you know, who comes on and lectures. It's not going to be like that at all. It's going to be more of exactly the way Chris said. It's going to be people come on and they're going to do show and tell. The more the better. I would love to see that. Yeah, we can absolutely do that, and I hope we do more.
Very good. Anything else?
Well, let's give Stephanie a huge round.
Thank you, guys. You're a great group. I really appreciate having had this chance. I really love meeting you. And yesterday, Chris said something about In-N-Out Burger, so please go have one on me. We don't have those here. So go have one. Think of me. All right. You guys enjoy the rest of the conference. Have a great day.
Very good. Thanks, Stephanie.
Bye. You're welcome. Bye.